Have you ever found yourself feeling belittled or disrespected in public, perhaps due to an unpleasant joke or a dismissive remark? How can you gain respect in such moments, especially when confronting someone who seems to thrive on putting others down? In this video, we'll delve into practical psychological strategies and behavioral suggestions to help you handle these challenging situations and earn the respect you deserve. Stay tuned until the end to discover how to respond effectively when faced with public humiliation. Let's start by examining why you might find yourself in these uncomfortable situations and why your presence might not be fully respected. Often, this lack of respect isn't due to personal hatred or animosity, but rather the opportunistic nature of some individuals. These people frequently seek to elevate themselves at the expense of others, especially in social or professional settings. Their goal is to stand out, often by putting others down. To protect yourself from becoming their stepping stone and to ensure you are treated with the respect you deserve, it's crucial to establish boundaries and enforce respect. So, what does it mean to earn respect? It doesn't mean forcing others to acknowledge you. Instead, it's about preventing them from using you to shine. Sometimes, this might involve distancing yourself from environments where you are not valued, but ideally, you'll want to handle these situations proactively. Here are some expanded tips on how to address situations where someone disrespects you in front of others. First tip, make a strong first impression. The way you present yourself in initial interactions can significantly influence how others perceive and respect you. Here's a detailed approach to making a strong first impression. Stand up when greeting. Demonstrates respect. Standing up when someone approaches you shows that you value their presence and respect the interaction. It sets a tone of mutual respect and signals that you are engaged. Avoids appearances of submission. Remaining seated can inadvertently signal a lack of confidence or disinterest. Standing up helps prevent this perception and projects confidence. Creates a level playing field. Standing up places you on an equal footing with the other person, both physically and psychologically, which can help establish a balanced dynamic from the start. Establish eye contact. Builds connection. Maintaining steady eye contact during the greeting fosters a sense of connection and engagement. It shows that you are present and attentive. Projects confidence. Eye contact is a key nonverbal cue that communicates self-assurance and authority. Avoiding eye contact or looking away can be interpreted as a sign of insecurity or submission. Enhances trustworthiness. People are more likely to trust and respect individuals who look them in the eye. It conveys honesty and openness. Offer a firm handshake. Signals confidence. A firm handshake is a classic sign of confidence and professionalism. It shows that you are self-assured and capable. Avoids overpowerfulness. While a firm handshake is important, it should not be overly strong or aggressive. The goal is to balance confidence with respect. Consistency in professional settings. In many professional environments, a firm handshake is expected and helps establish credibility and respect. Be mindful of your body language. Open posture. Adopt an open and upright posture to project confidence. Avoid crossing your arms or slouching, as these can be seen as defensive or disinterested. Positive gestures. Use positive gestures, such as nodding and smiling, to reinforce your engagement and approachability. These nonverbal cues can make interactions more pleasant and respectful. Mirroring. Subtly mirroring the other person's body language can create a sense of rapport and alignment. This doesn't mean mimicking their every move, but adopting similar gestures or postures to foster connection. Articulate clearly and with purpose. Speak with clarity. When introducing yourself or engaging in conversation, articulate your words clearly. This demonstrates that you are thoughtful and confident in your communication. Maintain a steady tone. Use a steady and composed tone of voice. Avoid speaking too softly, which can be interpreted as a lack of confidence, or too loudly, which can come across as aggressive. Be concise and relevant. Keep your introductions and initial conversations concise and relevant. Avoid rambling or over-explaining, which can detract from a positive first impression. Dress appropriately for the situation. Professional attire. Ensure that your attire matches the context of the meeting or interaction. Dressing appropriately shows that you respect the occasion and the other person. Attention to detail. Pay attention to grooming and personal hygiene. Neat and well-maintained appearance contributes to a positive perception of professionalism and respect. Use the person's name. Personal connection. When appropriate, use the other person's name in conversation. This personal touch helps create a sense of familiarity and shows that you are attentive and considerate. Builds rapport. Recalling and using someone's name can build rapport and make the interaction more engaging and respectful. By implementing these strategies, you can make a powerful and positive first impression that sets the stage for respectful and productive interactions. Remember, the way you present yourself in the beginning can significantly influence how others perceive and engage with you moving forward. Second tip, handle interruptions with confidence. Interruptions during conversations, especially in public or professional settings, can be frustrating and disrespectful. Addressing these interruptions assertively and effectively is key to maintaining respect and ensuring your voice is heard. Here's how you can handle interruptions with confidence. Maintain a firm gaze. Project authority. When someone interrupts you, meet their interruption with a firm, unwavering gaze. This nonverbal cue communicates that you are serious about your point and expect to finish your statement. Signal displeasure. A steady, intense look can subtly convey that the interruption is unwelcome and that you are focused on resuming the conversation. This approach helps to reinforce the importance of your message. Pause and regain control. Stop speaking. When interrupted, momentarily halt your speech. This pause not only draws attention to the interruption, but also allows you to assert control over the conversation. Create space. By stopping, you give yourself a moment to collect your thoughts and prepare to continue from where you left off. This brief silence can also signal to the interrupter that their action was inappropriate. Politely assert yourself. Use direct language. After the pause, calmly and assertively state, "May I continue?" or "Can I pick up where I left off?" This phrase communicates that you wish to resume your point and highlights that the interruption was not acceptable. Request permission. By asking for permission to continue, you maintain politeness while reinforcing your right to finish your statement. This approach also subtly reminds the interrupter that their action was disruptive. Reiterate your point. Summarize your previous statements. Briefly restate the key points you were making before the interruption. This helps reestablish the context and importance of your message. Reinforce your argument. Emphasize the significance of what you were discussing to remind others of its relevance and to assert your authority on the topic. Stay calm and composed. Avoid aggression. Maintain a calm and composed demeanor throughout the interaction. Responding with anger or frustration can escalate the situation and may undermine your credibility. Keep your tone even. Use a steady and respectful tone of voice to convey your point. An even tone reinforces your professionalism and ensures that your response is seen as measured and appropriate. Address the interrupter privately if needed. Consider a private conversation. If interruptions are a recurring issue with a specific individual, consider addressing the matter privately. Discuss how their interruptions affect the flow of conversation and express your expectations for more respectful interactions. Seek resolution. Use the private discussion as an opportunity to find a resolution and improve communication dynamics. This approach helps to address the issue without causing a public confrontation. Reinforce respect for all participants. Set a standard. By handling interruptions effectively, you set a standard for respectful communication in group settings. Your actions can influence how others interact and help to foster a more respectful dialogue overall. Encourage inclusivity. Ensure that everyone involved in the conversation has an opportunity to speak and be heard. This promotes a balanced and respectful exchange of ideas. Practice active listening. Show engagement. Actively listen to the person who interrupted, acknowledging their input briefly if it's relevant. This demonstrates that you value their perspective while still asserting your right to finish your point. Use transitional phrases. Transition back to your original topic with phrases like, returning to what I was saying. This helps to smoothly guide the conversation back to your point. By employing these strategies, you can handle interruptions effectively, maintain control of conversations, and ensure that you are treated with the respect you deserve. This not only helps in asserting your position, but also fosters a more respectful and professional dialogue. Third tip, responding to humiliating jokes. Humiliating jokes aimed at putting you down can be uncomfortable and challenging to navigate. Handling such situations with poise and strategy can turn the tables and deflect negative attention. Here's a comprehensive guide on how to manage and respond to these kinds of jokes. Acknowledge and redirect. Pretend you didn't hear. Initially, act as if you did not hear or understand the joke. This tactic minimizes the immediate impact of the remark and signals that it hasn't affected you. Ignoring the joke can also prevent further escalation. Create a pause. By not reacting immediately, you create a pause in the conversation. This pause can make the joke seem less relevant and prevent it from gaining traction. Redirection strategy. After the pause, use the opportunity to redirect the conversation. Shift the focus to a different topic or bring up a more positive subject. This helps to move past the joke and regain control of the dialogue. Ask for clarification. Request repetition. Politely ask the person to repeat the joke by saying something like, "Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Can you say that again?" This unexpected request puts the joker on the spot and can make them uncomfortable. Neutral tone. Keep your tone neutral and curious, rather than confrontational. This approach helps to defuse the situation and prevents the joker from feeling defensive or attacked. Highlight the inappropriateness. Repeating the joke can make it awkward and less humorous, especially if it was meant to be at your expense. It also forces the person to reconsider the impact of their words. Maintain composure. Stay calm. Throughout the interaction, remain calm and composed. Avoid showing anger or frustration, as these reactions can escalate the situation or give the joke more power. Control your body language. Keep your body language relaxed and open. Avoid crossing your arms or displaying signs of irritation, as these can signal defensiveness or discomfort. Use positive reinforcement. If appropriate, acknowledge any positive comments or humor from others to steer the group back to a more positive and inclusive tone. Turn the situation around. Employ humor. If you feel comfortable, use humor to deflect the situation. A lighthearted or witty remark can diffuse tension and shift the focus away from the humiliating joke. Reframe the joke. Reframe the joke in a way that highlights its absurdity or makes it less impactful. For example, if the joke was about a personal trait, you might say, "Well, I guess we all have our quirks." This approach can make the joker's attempt at humiliation seem trivial. Address the joke publicly or privately. Public response. If the joke was made in a group setting and you feel comfortable, you can address it publicly by making a statement that reinforces respect and inclusivity. For example, "I believe we should keep our jokes positive and respectful." Private discussion. If the joke continues to bother you, consider having a private conversation with the person who made the joke. Express how their comment affected you and request that they avoid such remarks in the future. This conversation should be approached calmly and constructively. Evaluate the relationship. Assess the pattern. If humiliating jokes are a recurring issue, evaluate the overall nature of your relationship with the individual. Determine whether this behavior is part of a larger pattern of disrespect or if it was an isolated incident. Set boundaries. Establish clear boundaries regarding what is acceptable and what is not. Communicate these boundaries directly if necessary to ensure that your interactions are respectful and positive. Seek support if needed. Involve others. If you're in a group setting and the behavior persists, seek support from others who can help address the issue. Sometimes, a collective response can reinforce the need for respectful behavior. Report if necessary. In professional or formal settings, if the behavior crosses into harassment, consider reporting the incident to a supervisor or human resources. This step is crucial for ensuring a respectful environment. By employing these strategies, you can handle humiliating jokes effectively and maintain your dignity and composure. Your response can help shift the dynamics of the situation and reinforce a culture of respect. Fourth tip, use strategic distraction. When faced with provocation or attempts to provoke anger, employing strategic distraction can effectively neutralize the situation and shift the focus away from the conflict. Here's a detailed guide on how to use this tactic effectively. Introduce an unrelated comment. Break the pattern. When someone tries to provoke you, interrupt the flow of their provocation by introducing a comment or question that is completely unrelated to the current discussion. This shift can disrupt their strategy and refocus the conversation. Use everyday topics. Choose topics that are neutral and non-controversial, such as, have you tried the new coffee shop down the street? Or did you see the latest episode of that TV show? These topics can help to redirect the conversation smoothly. Be spontaneous. Ensure that your comment feels spontaneous and natural. An overly rehearsed or forced remark might be perceived as a tactic and could lead to suspicion. Maintain naturalness. Act casual. Deliver your unrelated comment in a casual and relaxed manner. Avoid making it sound like a deliberate attempt to change the subject, as this can make the other person more suspicious or defensive. Keep your tone light. Use a light, conversational tone that doesn't hint at underlying tension. A friendly or neutral tone helps to ensure that your comment is taken at face value and doesn't escalate the situation. Gauge the reaction. Observe their response. Pay attention to how the provocateur reacts to your unrelated comment. Their response can provide insight into whether the distraction has been effective or if further intervention is needed. Adjust your approach. Based on their reaction, you may need to continue with additional unrelated comments or questions if they persist in their provocations. Alternatively, if they seem to have been deflected, you can continue the conversation on a more positive or neutral note. Use self-deprecating humor. Introduce humor. Sometimes, introducing a bit of self-deprecating humor can serve as a distraction and diffuse tension. For example, if someone is making fun of a personal trait, you might say, "Well, I guess my quirk is just one of my unique features." Keep it light. Ensure that your humor is lighthearted and not self-critical. The goal is to neutralize the negativity without drawing more attention to yourself or reinforcing the provocation. Employ thoughtful questions. Ask open-ended questions. Pose questions that invite the other person to share their thoughts or experiences on a different topic. For instance, what do you think about the upcoming event? This approach helps to shift the focus from the provocation to a more engaging topic. Encourage discussion. By asking questions, you encourage the other person to shift their focus and engage in a more constructive conversation. This technique can also help to build rapport and foster positive interaction. Maintain control of the conversation. Redirect smoothly. When introducing a new topic, do so smoothly to avoid abrupt changes in the conversation. Transitioning naturally helps to maintain control and ensures that the new topic is received well. Reinforce positive communication. Use positive and affirming language to guide the conversation. Compliment or acknowledge contributions to reinforce a respectful and engaging dialogue. Prepare for persistent provocations. Plan responses. If you anticipate that the provocateur may continue their attempts, prepare a few additional unrelated topics or comments in advance. Having these ready can help you respond swiftly and maintain control. Set boundaries. If the provocation persists despite your efforts to redirect, it may be necessary to set clear boundaries. Politely but firmly state that you prefer not to engage in discussions that are intended to provoke or upset you. Reflect and adjust. Evaluate effectiveness. After the interaction, reflect on how well the distraction strategy worked. Consider what went well and what could be improved for future situations. Adapt strategies. Use your reflections to adapt and refine your approach for handling similar situations in the future. Being adaptable helps you maintain effectiveness and confidence in managing provocations. By employing strategic distraction effectively, you can neutralize attempts to provoke you and shift the focus to more constructive and positive interactions. This technique not only helps to manage conflict, but also reinforces your ability to handle challenging situations with grace and control. Fifth tip: withdraw when respect is lacking. Knowing when to withdraw from a situation or environment where you are not being respected is a crucial skill for maintaining your self-worth and ensuring that you are valued in your interactions. Here's a comprehensive guide on how to handle situations where respect is lacking and how to make a strategic exit if necessary. Recognize signs of disrespect. Consistent disregard. Pay attention to patterns of behavior where you are repeatedly dismissed or belittled. Consistent lack of respect, whether through dismissive comments, exclusion, or condescension, can indicate a broader issue. Negative impact. Reflect on how the lack of respect is affecting you emotionally and psychologically. If you notice a decline in your self-esteem or well-being due to being disrespected, it's a sign that action may be needed. Feedback from others. Sometimes, feedback from friends, colleagues, or mentors can provide insights into whether the respect you are receiving is appropriate. Consider their perspectives if they consistently observe and express concern about the way you're treated. Evaluate your options. Assess the situation. Determine whether the situation can be improved or if it's a persistent issue. Consider whether direct communication or conflict resolution strategies could address the disrespect. Determine the impact. Evaluate the potential impact of withdrawing on your personal and professional life. Consider the short-term and long-term consequences and weigh them against the benefits of maintaining your dignity and self-respect. Communicate your boundaries. Direct conversation. If feasible, have a direct conversation with the individuals involved. Clearly and calmly express how their behavior is impacting you and outline your expectations for respectful interactions. Set clear boundaries. Communicate your boundaries regarding acceptable behavior. Be specific about what constitutes respectful treatment and what actions you will take if these boundaries are not respected. Strategize your exit. Plan your withdrawal. If you decide that withdrawing is the best option, plan your exit strategy carefully. Consider how to leave the situation gracefully while minimizing disruption and maintaining your professionalism. Timing and approach. Choose an appropriate time to withdraw. If possible, do so at a moment that allows you to explain your decision clearly and provide any necessary context. For instance, if leaving a workplace or social group, a formal resignation or departure message might be appropriate. Seek alternative environments. Find supportive spaces. Look for environments where you are valued and respected. Seek out communities, workplaces, or social groups that align with your values and where respectful behavior is a norm. Build new relationships. Invest time in building relationships with individuals who appreciate and respect you. Positive and supportive interactions can enhance your overall well-being and provide a more fulfilling social or professional network. Focus on self-care. Prioritize your well-being. Take care of yourself emotionally and mentally. Engaging in activities that boost your self-esteem and well-being can help you recover from negative experiences and prepare for new opportunities. Seek professional support. If necessary, consider seeking support from a counselor or therapist. Professional guidance can help you navigate difficult situations and build strategies for maintaining self-respect. Reflect and learn. Assess your experience. After withdrawing, reflect on the experience and what you've learned. Consider what signs of disrespect you observed and how you can address similar situations in the future. Adjust your approach. Use your reflections to adjust your approach to handling respect and boundaries. Developing a clearer understanding of your expectations and limits can help you manage future interactions more effectively. Reaffirm your value. Reinforce self-worth. Remind yourself of your value and the standards you deserve. Reaffirming your self-worth helps you maintain confidence and ensures that you continue to seek and uphold respectful interactions. Celebrate positive interactions. Focus on and celebrate interactions where you are treated with respect and kindness. Acknowledging these positive experiences reinforces your standards and encourages healthy relationships. By recognizing when respect is lacking and taking strategic steps to withdraw from such situations, you can protect your self-worth and ensure that you are valued in your interactions. This approach helps you maintain your dignity and fosters a healthier environment for personal and professional growth. We've reached the end of this video. Have you ever faced a situation like this? How did you handle it? Share your experiences or reflections in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.